There are musicals that will likely always be timeless. Musicals like West Side Story, Sound of Music, My Fair Lady. But every once in a while there's a musical that's been around that just needs to be put on the shelf and left there. Probably forever. Hello and welcome to episode 72 of One Man's Opinion, where I review professional theater in New York and Connecticut. Today I am reviewing Legacy Theater's production of the Tom Jones and Harvey Schmidt musical I Do, I Do, directed by Kevin Michael Reed, running through May 14th at their theater at 128 Thimble Islands Road, Branford, Connecticut. 24 years ago, when I was studying to be an actor, I was assigned the song I Love My Wife from the show, and I had a great time with it. It was quite fitting to my personality at the time, and probably still is. I hadn't seen another production of the show since I researched it, watching the recording of Robert Preston and Mary Martin at the Lincoln Center Library. In those years, I've changed, and in those years, we as a national culture, especially toward the general subservient role of the wife in a marriage, has changed. And with that, art that supports that point of view has aged badly. Is I Do, I Do a bad musical? No. There are great moments and thoroughly entertaining songs and scenes, but it definitely is problematic at this point. Set in New York City between the years of 1898 and 1948, I Do follows Michael, played by Al Bundonis, and Agnes, played by Stephanie Stiefel Williams, from their wedding day when they move into their apartments together and determine themselves to consummate their love for one another, to 50 years later when they're moving out of the same home. Throughout are moments of joy and discovery of love for each other to moments of animosity and despair. Sometimes it's played for laughs, sometimes it's played for drama. Where I Do doesn't work is when it plays for drama, and the worst part about it is that the two most dramatic moments happen near the end of its two acts. The first act ends on the prerequisite affair scene where Michael confesses his philandering to Agnes, and all it takes is essentially a quick "I'm sorry" for her to forgive him. It's disingenuous and gives the impression that spouses should more or less be okay with their partner's infidelity as long as they apologize for it. I get it, it's the early 20th century, and where would a woman go with a divorce? Granted, in this case, she'd take him to the cleaners because he's a successful author. But still, Agnes has a similar question of doubt about her place in the marriage in the second act that also falls flat. This is all compounded by the disappointing production by Legacy. It felt like the production was rushed. The vocals weren't clean. The acting was mixed. The design was incoherent at times, as costuming and set made it difficult to determine where in time we were at that point. Sure, there's toys when the children were born, but that isn't a real gauge of what year it is in a certain point of the musical. There are good moments. The I Love My Wife number is charming, and the Nobody's Perfect number is pretty funny, but overall, Legacy Theater's production of I Do is a profoundly misguided choice of a show and an overall underwhelming production. It is my impression that Branford is a more conservative community in Connecticut, and Legacy will, for better or worse, have to pick shows that attract its local audience. If that's the case, I hope that future productions, however the socio-political climate of the community is, will improve. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you're interested in seeing I Do, I'll leave a link in the description below. Show your support for my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Click the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be the new Broadway production of William Shakespeare's Macbeth, starring Daniel Craig and Ruth Negga. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the theater.